Greetings, listeners, and welcome to Troublesome Conversationalists. I'm joined here by my co-hosts, Devin and Sky. Say hello, boys.
Hello.
I'm still dying.
What
Hey,
tragic
guys.
news? What's causing you to die today?
If I'm being honest, probably exhaustion, dude.
Exhaustion?
It is not stopped. I am laughing too hard and staying up too late.
What's causing you to laugh too hard?
Unfortunately, you awful people.
It is tragic to hear that you are calling us awful people. Why would you describe us so?
Anyway, so Sky, how you doing?
You have failed to answer the question. Real stuff.
What is this freaking portal? Am I about to get electrocuted?
Freak yeah, it is.
Freak yeah.
Freak out.
Alrighty. So, I'm doing good though. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing all right. I had a day off, and then I chose to not be productive with that day, but I think maybe it was somewhat justified.
Maybe.
Because I working like 6 days a week, about to be like 7 during the entire month of October, but out of choice. We had our opening day at the haunted attraction yesterday.
Nice.
It's weird because like I already told you how it went, and I told Sky on a failed recording how it went, so I could repeat myself for sake of content, but yeah, if it becomes natural topic of conversation, I will, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and to get to that point, I can honestly say that I am very proud of you, and I look forward to hearing the final results too.
Final results. What?
Yeah, man. The
Am I
final
getting?
results, like how everything turns out, where it goes from there, Because I know you also said that there's some potential rewards and stuff like that out there, and
Oh,
things that could happen.
you're talking about the raffles and stuff. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's not why you do it, but it is a nice benefit of doing it.
It's a benefit,
And Sky, in case you're wondering, they said that any actor who shows up for every single day that they are open will get one raffle ticket into a 1 week all expense paid vacation, including travel, to a cruise in, of all places, Florida.
Oh, wow.
I know. What are the odds?
So maybe I take you, maybe I take whoever is I consider the nicest friend to me or whatever, or maybe I just take Devin, have him flown, to our state, back down to Florida.
Or you resell everything for a couple grand.
I'm not allowed to do that. They said that.
Lame. Makes sense though.
But like it's pretty flexible on when it can happen. So like as soon as we designate a week, designate a date, take the time off and like make those plans, like the best part is because it's all expense paid, I don't even have to worry about like the price of like the plane ticket. We don't have to sit there and gauge be like, oh, if we do this date to this date, it's cheaper. It's like, no, these are the dates. This is, and so like even if I wanted to, and like I could call for like a round trip back a little bit after the cruise in case we wanted to hang out or even beforehand. So
Overall, even without stuff like that, I think you're doing a great job, and I'm just happy they keep me updated about it. Hopefully, I can send my mother through, and we'll see what happens.
she's gonna be so caught off guard.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, she was telling me like how uh, I should come down there and do it with her, and I was like, sorry, man, I'm off fighting angry wind right now. And she just sat there and just sent a bunch of frowny faces.
How long do you think the angry wind is gonna be? Did they give
Oh, I
any
don't
ETA
even
on
know.
that?
I haven't been given any details. Uh, for clarification, uh, for those who don't know, my unit just got activated. We're going to be uh, handling some hurricane relief. For those in the States, you probably know that there's a hurricane approaching, Category 3, I believe it is right now. So I'll be handling some hurricane relief if I see anybody out there, I probably won't know who the hell you are, but good looks.
On that depressing note, Sky, anything you want to talk about?
Uh,
Sounds good. Um,
Just
I may
cut
as
him
well
off
bring
right
it up.
there.
I may as well bring it up. This week, I'm going to be starting to pack for my trip to Dallas on the 3rd.
ooh, we
Ooh.
going to Texas for?
It's for a job thing, so I'm going to be staying there from the 3rd of October to the 14th. Doing some training, getting registered with the company. I'm going to be staying in a hotel. They're paying for the hotel and the transportation to and from it, as well as food accommodations a little bit. And with this company, uh, I have access to getting flights for free day one. So I can pretty much get a flight for free, I think. I'm still going to look at the like code of conduct and stuff to make sure everything, because I don't want to just flirt around and be like, I can get this, but then it's like, oh, nope, caveat type of
I
thing.
get that.
That's weird. I pinged Sky all the way in California just an hour ago, and now he's above Nevada.
Oh my god.
Well, actually, you may see that on the app thing. Cause oh wait, no, hold up. If you
Nah,
do, it will probably be that like the stop
yeah.
because airplane mode.
Well,
But
no, my head hurted because I used all of my processing power to, for improv's sake, after saying California, what's a state that could plausibly be flown over after leaving California that like would make sense within an hour? And I was just like, what else is in the West? Nevada, probably.
Complete opposite side.
Oh, am I? Is it really? Am I just bad at geography?
no, California is next to Nevada. Devin, shut up.
Hold on. No, now I have to double check. I gotta make sure I'm not stupid. Tell me why I
Oh
Google
my
search
God.
geography and not U.S. map.
I mean, to be fair, we already know I suck at geography. They are right next to each other.
Oh my god, let's go, let's go, let's
Devin,
go.
really? Oh my
I mean,
God.
if I'm being honest, I always considered Nevada and like Georgia to be next to each other, and I was just completely wrong. I just found that out like 2 days ago.
Bro, you said George.
I know, ain't that
I'm looking
crazy?
at a map so I can understand how stupid you feel. uh,
Okay. Uh, so
but
not
that'd be dope.
exactly going to be flying towards like California, but if I
First day
do go
California.
from airplane mode to using my data, you guys may get a ping from me being in Missouri, but I'm most likely going to check in Texas to let y'all know I landed safely and got to the hotel.
Oh, is there like a layover or something?
Yeah, I have to. The plane's taking like a stop in St. Louis, Missouri, but it's not like changing flights or anything. So
Uh,
it may just be them refueling.
I was gonna say, you know what would make sense, because like I don't know like how the free flight entails, because obviously you probably wouldn't be like, yeah, I get free flights, and like, all right, cool, you can get first class every time, but like, it would still be worth it, I would say, if you got free flights, but the caveat is the flight would have to have like a layover or two, which, free flights are free flights, even if it's extra time, because they're already expensive enough as it is,
No,
Oh,
yeah, no,
100%.
I totally get it. From what I understand, the whole flight system is dependent on, I believe, the planes having room. So it's not
That makes sense.
necessarily what's it called, about distance and time and stuff. It's more so, hey, uh, we understand you're trying to get these flights here. We're gonna see if we can get you in on these. Maybe have backup plans in case, but you'll most likely be able to get on those flights.
No, you're
Again, I'm
just
still just gonna look into it.
Sky, you're just stuck at the airport until they finally have a flight to where you're trying to go that has an open seat, or if they didn't show up.
Just like
And
staying
Sky,
there
looks
for like
like not everybody showed up for our flight to Nebraska, so looks like you get to go.
after like weeks of staying in the like airport exclusively because I don't have a hotel. Just like,
you, you're you're just
yay!
plugged into like one AC outlet. You're taking naps on chairs and stuff, getting your work done, but also like,
Dude, chairs be kind of like hella comfy, honestly.
oh, I know you think they're comfy. I'm taking pictures of
Dude,
you knocked out. You got mad at me.
look, man, anything's better than the floor when you think about it.
I mean, that's fair.
Oh,
That's
okay. For
fair.
some people, that might not be the case.
So what all would your new job entail? Is it an online job? Is it a flight attendant? Like what airline, assuming associated work, will you be doing that gets you free flights and stuff?
Customer service.
Customer service. Something you hate,
Ooh.
but you can put on a brave face just for sake of having a job. Customer service absolutely sucks, and then you just. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, it's like
One might say that you are a service to us all.
One might say you're even more brave than our troops. And no, I'm not saying that.
Oh my god. Just under fire immediately.
Well, with troops, if somebody shoots at you, you can shoot back. But customer service, if the customer gets upset, you can't be upset back with the customer. It's yes, of course. Yeah, we'll have that done right away. Yes, I will be giving you my employee ID number. Yes, you may talk to my manager, but just so you know, I did do everything in the best of my ability per your situation. And then the manager comes over and be like, I didn't like his tone. Yada 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 yada. And then the manager has to tell them exactly what you told them, and yada yada yada. And it's just.
I kid you not, that happened at my previous remote job. I'm not even kidding. I told one person one specific thing. They were like, I still want to speak to a manager. And I am 100% certain that after I transferred them, they were told the exact same stuff I told them.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, not sorry, actually.
Sorry, probably sorry, maybe.
I get paid to talk to you. You don't get paid to talk to me, so I'll be on the phone with you all day.
Yeah, I reported Sky.
I was gonna say, imagine how different it would be if it was you get paid per customer helped, or you had to meet a customer quota per day before you could clock out.
Oh, that would be torture. That would absolutely be torture.
I'd cry. I'd be like, please, just pick up the phone, please.
I'd be
Well, you wouldn't be calling the customers. The customers would be calling you, so you would
no,
have
no.
to.
No, if there was a quota, I would be calling the customers.
Sir, tell me you need help. Is your refrigerator running? Yeah, then go catch it. Click, next customer.
Oh, one down.
All in a day's work.
But yeah, that is true. With these jobs, it is just like nonstop calls, and by nonstop, I genuinely mean nonstop. Like, you're probably not gonna have breathing room. It's just gonna be like one call ends, and then next up, hey, guess what? I'm calling into this place now. I'm not giving any specific names, just because
Right. Right.
Confidentiality,
job
yeah.
A customer service employee will be right with you shortly. 2 hours later.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, oh my god, you have like no idea. People complained so much about the wait times on the phone. It's like, it's not my fault y'all are calling constantly to change stuff or complain. Stop.
Yeah, stop. Don't need help. What is wrong with you? Stop having
Stop
issues.
that.
No, like seriously, some of the
Take
changes
the
and stuff
L.
they add on, they can do themselves. They don't need a call. So it's like, what's the point?
Oh, is that well? On the bright side, if it is something that they could technically do themselves, and you help them, what you do is you stretch out that phone call because I'm sure you're hourly or something like that. You stretch out that phone call, step by step process, walk them through it, and then boom. Instead of a customer that could have been helped in like 2 minutes, you help that customer out in 10 minutes. But then again, I don't know if they if you have like a supervisor or manager that's like wanting you. It's like, Sky, you could have handled that like way better, or like, Sky, you could have been more efficient, something or other. Like, I don't know how
Oh no, they just fired people where he works.
I
And
sincerely hope.
you're on the chopping
I
block.
didn't
at
like your
all times.
tone. You're fired. Oh, okay.
You didn't greet me within 5 seconds of answering the phone. Fired.
Uh, I sincerely hope the calls aren't going to be monitored, but if it was anything like the previous job, they probably are. So I just hope that they're going to be like, hey, improve on this stuff. Rest stuff you're doing well. Go get them.
Oh yeah, you got some leeway by being like a new person, so like just like cycle like customer service jobs like every like 2 weeks or whatever, you get fired, you start up a new one, they have to go easy on you because you're new, you know. Honestly, you could probably make that last more than 2 weeks. You could be like getting a new customer service job like every month even, but it just depends
So
on
that's sad.
That would be like
their new person
so.
policy.
That would be so much paperwork. Oh my god! And then like the
You're
background checks and drug tests and stuff.
no, you're
And
saying
Oh
that's a lot of paperwork.
man!
Imagine your
and
W-2s, because you have to get a W-2
and
for each job.
if there's like those bonuses
Okay,
that
you're
they're
right.
like, oh, if you stay so long, so long, I think it's like 90 days is like usually the minimum. If you end up just doing 90 days and collecting those bonuses, like, and then get a new job and collect a new bonus, we kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. I
Dev-
read online about somebody making like 60 grand a year doing that stuff.
Devin out
And
here making money moves,
Money moves.
questioning his job, just like, but I could just make more money by being a crappier employee.
in a perfect world, I wouldn't need to work customer service. I could just do what I want to do, like voice act or write stories and make consistent amount
Not
of
to
money.
not to be political, but I really thought Sky was about to like pitch us like a communist like propaganda sort of like,
Oh my god.
in a perfect world, everything is equal. All this I was like, oh, Sky, bud, slow down. No.
Guys, stop. Cancel.
My guy, I am not like I am not donning the
Okay.
red and yellow sickle, my guy. No.
All right,
A
all right.
red and yellow sickle.
But going back
Red
to perfect
background,
world.
yellow tools.
Yep. Let's go back to like perfect world, like jobs at least, and not in the sense of politics, but like yeah, no, in a perfect world we would all like be able to do like whatever we want, like career wise, get paid while doing it, you know. But the caveat of that is you would also have to be good at your dream job. I can't say I want to be a famous singer or whatever, and then have like a shitty raspy voice, like you can have a dream job, but as long that's why they say work hard, play hard. You got to put forth the effort to actually be even considered to have that job, and then the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more you'll get paid, etc., etc. You know, so like Devin wants to do coding. He has to take the classes, get the certifications, which I think he already has or whatever, and like even if his dream is to be at Google one day per se, there's still plenty of other job opportunities that, he can make good money, if you want to call that his dream job,
Mhm.
I don't,
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
but anything that's like considered like an art or whatever, it's significantly harder to like make it big. But you know, it's still like a decent enough side gig, you know.
No, yeah, I totally get it. Like, my goal is just to like get my foot in the door. I'm not like trying to go like all in. Like, if I don't become famous within 1 month, I am going ballistic. No, I just want to try and start. I want to put in as much effort as I can to get better and do stuff. Also,
My
on the topic of coding, if
Yes.
Devin gets into Google and doesn't put Easter eggs involving us and the other friends, I will be thoroughly disappointed.
I don't know if he would have that kind of power, but you know.
I don't remember if I showed you guys this game that I made, but we had back in high school we had like a big tournament to see who could recreate the old arcade games and put their own little spin on it. Me being me,
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry. Can I interject for a second, though? Can I just interject?
yes.
I'm recreating Pac-Man. Instead of Pac-Man, it's Bernard, and he has to eat all of the couples of slices.
A whole couple of slices.
Just little pieces everywhere. And then the ghosts are just like me, you, Sky, and John saying, "No more pizza, no more pizza."
That'd be fantastic.
And then when he dies, he said, "I only had a couple slices."
Only had a couple slices.
I'll explain context for that inside joke, but as you were saying,
Let's I think when we do get into that, when we do get into the context, we should have Bernard here.
Yeah, just hold on a second. He's gonna kick her ass when he hears this.
it's
He's
worth
gonna
it. It's
go
worth
straight
it.
up- He's gonna
'Cause-
straight up drive out to you and then to me and then grab like the nearest flight to where Devin is and just beat the shit out of all of us.
I'm gonna be out here fighting the angry wind monster outside, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, you!"
You know, inside the eye of the storm, turns out it was just Bernard.
I only had a couple slices. The storm is now renamed Bernard.
Yeah, they've been naming storms after people. Hurricane Katrina and this. You just be like, it's Hurricane Bernard! AKA the couple slice storm.
Oh my
That's
god, that's
fantastic.
the title of the episode.
Yeah, we don't just call something the title of the episode. The title of the episode is created when we're done talking, because we still have like 37-ish, you know, give or take, you know, worth of content to talk about just for sake of us talking. And then, you know, I kind of make the title based on like the bullet points, and I don't even have to make the title. So we could try to call it the couple slice storm, but like if something else happens or something, you know, or we could still incorporate the couple slice storm into it, you know.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
But
There was
it's
an
not a bad
actual-
idea. It's not a bad idea. I will have it under consideration.
But we'll touch on that later anyway.
But
Yeah.
But anyway, so point is recreating classic arcade games back to the original point from the tangent.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so we're recreating old style arcade games, and me being me, I'm a huge fan of Galaga. So I was thinking to myself, like, what would match Galaga's theme? And I don't know why. For whatever reason, the first thing I thought of was the Titanic. So so I set up my little layout. I programmed like all these different blocks to do such and such and interact with each other. And lo and behold, after reskinning some things, you have the Titanic sailing down an ocean, shooting at icebergs that are coming towards it in different like little formats. And I don't know why I thought this was really funny. My teacher didn't like it very much, but I disagree.
Your teacher didn't like the Titanic idea?
Well, no, he liked the Titanic idea. He didn't like how I was clearing the iceberg.
With missiles?
No, I had the Titanic shooting people out of a cannon.
Oh
and
god.
it's shooting people out of a cannon at the icebergs and clearing them out. And I don't know what possessed me to do this, but like towards the very end, I created this big old iceberg monster, and you just had to keep feeding him people until he exploded. It was great.
That's-
It's probably like my favorite like programming feat is just recreating Galaga Titanic edition.
That honestly, that's amazing. Just like I can imagine it now. Someone sitting down like at an arcade machine saying, "Hey, they came up with a brand new version of Galaga, never before seen ever."
no,
And
no.
it's just the Titanic and people being launched out with like 8-bit scream sound effects. Holy shit!
Sky, you've seen JonTron, right?
Yeah.
So you know his episode called Titanic? What if it's just like that, where it's just like a poor misspelling of Titanic? Titanic.
That'd be amazing. Oh, that'd be perfect.
Or just Titanica. Because Galaga, Titanica.
Ooh. I hope you're writing that down, Devin.
Well, for all we know, he could have already actually titled it something. Or it's just like Titanic Galaga spinoff.exe or something.
Good point.
Devin.
What? What was that last part?
Did you just space out?
We
Yeah,
were wondering,
I
like,
was
did you
sitting
name the
here-
game? Did you name it?
Oh yeah, I did.
What'd you name it?
Damn it.
Okay, so I actually wasn't very creative with it. I literally just renamed it to Galaga the Titanic edition.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, that was it. I wasn't very creative with it, and it was definitely one of those things where I was like, how am I gonna like submit this without having people yell at me by just reading the title?
Galaga, but Titanic.
But yeah, I don't know. My teacher wasn't too happy with firing people out of a cannon. I was like, what's wrong with you? He was like, this was a serious event that took place. And I was like, really?
You don't say. Just think of it as like a political cartoon. What did your classmates think? You had to have showed them.
I mean, they seem to like it. I didn't end up winning our little tournament, but I think overall, I did pretty well. I had a lot of positive reviews, and someone said that I should like remake it for like a bunch of different like world events. And I was like, that sounds like a lot of work, but I'd be down. Like having different levels for different events.
I was gonna say, try to like make it a little bit more custom for sake of copyright, and just release that crap on Steam. Make it like a $1-2 game, and just have it be like a passive income. You know, they're like, oh, what's this game? And it's like, bro, it's just Galaga but Titanic. It's funny AF.
Yeah, like a little 99-cent indie game,
Yeah, like you really
It'd be kind of
could.
fun.
Like,
It'd be kind of fun.
You could probably even pitch it to like a publisher type thing, and they'd be like, "Hey, we'll try to help you expand it. See if we can go like the distance on
No,
this."
when you get other businesses involved, that's where stuff gets messy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like if anything, have it be your own game or like indie or whatever. And like, you want some voice acting, you already got a couple of the buds willing to put their best foot forward. Just if you need any female sounding characters, that's where it's gonna get a little tricky. Unless you want like a cringe female, but then I got you. What are you laughing at, Bucko?
Cringe female, then I got you, Bucko.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, no, I'm not doing it on the podcast. I'm not doing it on the podcast. I'm not doing it on the podcast. But like, Devin already knows. Like, I have like a pretty good wide arsenal, and then like everybody else that I know of that does voice acting usually just kind of strides for like the stereotype like protagonist feel or the stereotype like deep voice. To me, voice acting is like more than that. It's about like being able to easily go out of your comfort zone. It's about having highs, having lows, taking constructive criticism, this, that. So, I don't need to be the anime protagonist, and I don't need to have like a stereotypical deep voice, or, super low, or your evil voice. Like, to me, it's about going a little bit wacky up and down, and just like being able to like just feed off of like what you're given, and sometimes it's not even necessarily about the voice. Sometimes people just want a bit of an accent on it, whether it's German or English or even Russian accent, you just add to it. You do not have to try so hard sometimes. But that's just my opinion. All that for all right, thanks, guy.
No,
Go on, carry on.
Ouch. Because I'm just about to say, I don't
You're
remember,
talking too much.
but you need to have a TV show. Because goodness fucking gracious, you're good at that stuff.
Oh, like just going from like one accent to another. It's like, guys, Alex, you're like the next like Justin Roiland or Seth MacFarlane or some crap. Like I could be if I get discovered, and if they deem me worthy enough. Honestly, I would just be even happy just to have one voice on a show. But that's the it's the humbleness. It's like, I'm just happy to be here sort of vibe.
You're too happy.
We'll pay you an exposure. Okay. Hollywood, that's a little different, but
Only a little.
I wish an acceptable response to I'll pay you an exposure is, then I'll serve you a knuckle sandwich. But that'd be considered a threat.
Threats aren't that bad. And I think I know a couple of people that seem to believe so too. And most of them are probably labeled as villains. But what if it was for a good cause? Like
being a villain for a good cause?
Yeah, like what if you had to do something bad for the sake of the better good? Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's morally correct?
I think you sound like a Batman villain.
I sound like a Batman villain? No, you sound like
I think
I'm just an anti-hero that nobody understands.
Whoa. But that's what I mean, is something like an anti-hero, I mean, like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, morally okay?
Well, what I do feel is that Troublesome Conversationalists is a proud partner of W Energy. W Energy makes energy drink and hydration flavor mix to make that pick-me-up that much better. Go to w.gg and go ahead and pick out your favorite flavors and products. Use code TCTalks for 10% off your purchase. That's TCTALKS for 10% off. And I've been using that Dragonade like almost all week. It's been getting me through the week. Like, it passes the test. And like I had like somebody from a higher up, they looked it over and they're like, yeah, just like one of these is like worth like 4 cups of coffee, and like I just one a day and that's all I need, So yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it back over to the main topic.
Hey, I mean, realistically, if that's what keeps you from turning into a supervillain, hey, more power to you.
I've had my morning caffeine. No world domination today.
Just imagine like someone
But tomorrow,
like making like a whole 5-minute skit out of it and animating that.
Tomorrow is another day. Should I wake up and choose violence, the world will feel my vengeance. But if I have my caffeine and wake up and go, okay, maybe not today, then you will live another day. Sir, I don't know why you have to tell me that every morning. I must! Somebody must hear the word of Dobby the Grudge. Yeah, okay, boss.
Sir, put it down, please.
No! But that's too much caffeine!
how like Discord just broke for a second.
Discord always breaks though. What's the difference?
I'm out of Dragonade. I've got Smudge. I need more. I need more. Strawberry banana. That's hydro flavor, you fool. Anyway, back to the bill.
Pythagorean theorem states
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
The
caffeine squared plus me squared equals you're in the clear scared. Squared. Squared.
Scared.
Scared.
Oh my god.
You realize if we if we have those like little avatar things, should we ever make like a quick little like animated short? Now I have to have an alternate version of my thing to be this evil Dubby mastermind. Dubby is a very good corporation, American made. Drink their supplements; it's pretty good. But to like have like this like evil villain that is not necessarily of W relation, just enjoys the W energy like anybody else would, and if they don't get their daily W, then everything's screwed.
World dead.
Dude, the daily W, it's like the daily double. You know what I mean? Yeah? The daily double.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Did I just like totally just blanked? I don't know why I was going.
I mean, that's fine.
Something completely different.
That's the sake of improv. But like you said, like you want to talk about like villains and stuff, or like the anti-hero. I don't know. You said something along the lines of that. Just trying to get us back on track.
I was just curious on how you guys like perceived the morality of it. Like, do you think that anti-heroes or people who are doing something good but not in the most morally correct ways, do you think that's acceptable? Like for example, Deadpool. He's a very commonly named anti-hero, and you can tell by all of his movies being rated R that he's probably got some things in there that we shouldn't be, showing to our children. But I don't know, how do you guys feel about it?
I think the only reason that they are viewed in a villain sense is because they do not go through what is considered the public's eye of correct means of adjustment. So like say deforestation is an issue, and there is a villain that I'm not trying to go like straight like Poison Ivy, but there is a villain that like destroys, let's say, even just like abandoned buildings or whatever, and replants like a bunch of forests or whatever. They would probably be considered a villain, because to like the city or the state or the county or whoever has jurisdiction, even though the building is abandoned, even though nobody is living in it, they are still quote unquote damaging property. It is property that is not being utilized, but because it is quote unquote illegal, then the villain is seen as a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the public's eye on whether or not you're using your powers for good or evil. And I'm trying to like word this in a way that steers away from like politics, because people with power using that power for good or evil or what they feel is right or wrong is a huge matter of morality. And it's not like you can just like have like a world vote. It's like, all right, should Superman use freeze breath on the ocean to create more icebergs to battle global warming, and then everybody takes a vote, whether or not yes or no, like it's fine as it is. No, create more iceberg. Like I I feel like that one people would probably be down for create more icebergs. And then after the vote goes through to like, yeah, we want more icebergs or whatever, to help battle global warming, then that turns around and like keeps like the industrial, smoke that's working to think it's okay to output the same carbon footprint that makes technically more dangerous hazards for the people in boats or whatever to hit said Superman made iceberg. Like each action has a chain reaction, and I understand we need to go through a certain sense of terms and to try and guess what the negative and positive outcomes and for what was morally right or wrong, what is going to have the better output, the pros and cons. But for sake of taking it into your own hands, if it is overall seen as a good thing, like saving somebody, you will be considered a hero. But if you are trying to do things for sake of saving the world, but it's at people's own expense, they will see you as a villain. And I know I kind of went off on a long tangent, but I'm just trying to like cover all the bases.
Yeah, no, I actually really like how you put it, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Personally, I think that morality can only be really perceived by whoever decides, what is right and wrong in that situation. If a person who is objectively looking at something and sees a person murder somebody but doesn't have any context, how are they gonna feel about it? Instantly they're gonna be like, okay, that person's in the wrong. But if they heard, oh, the person that they murdered was a child, a bad person, child toucher, people don't like those
They
people.
killed a child. Oh,
Yeah, people don't like those kind of people. Instantly they're like, yeah, that guy, he deserved to die. Forget that guy. I almost said a word I'm not allowed to say.
hey, we've been doing good so far. No f-bombs from what I can count.
I know. But yeah, so if someone perceives that, then all of a sudden their whole perception changes. Now all of a sudden the person who murdered another guy is morally correct. But then you take it into a law standard and it just changes again once you get there. If you take it to court, you still had no right to kill a person. It's one of those things where you'll still probably get charged, even if it's just a lighter charge, with assuming that there's evidence and everything, but you'll still end up in trouble. I mean, and I think that's how a lot of like anti-hero stories started, is they do something that at the time may have seemed morally correct, or by a subjective perspective, they'll be like, oh yeah, this is what had to be done. This is the only way that could have solved this solution, blah, blah, blah. But in the eyes of the law, it's completely different, And I think that's kind of what you were talking about too.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Because, like, if somebody is knowledgeable in the law, then even their actions are changed. Because I think there's like a technicality, unlike like self-defense, for example. If somebody breaks into your home and they're armed or whatever, and you are in fear for your life, if you shoot that person or hurt that person and they are injured but not dead, depending on the circumstance, or however it is technically worded for the scenario, the robber themselves or the burglar can sue you for the injuries. So for some people, it is better off to off said, intruder, because then when the authorities arrive, it's just this person I don't know with weapon was inside my home and I was fearing for my life. And it's just a clean cut, self-defense, threat, usually, And so, like, if you know certain things, then it would cause you to act differently, you know? And so, like, say for the example of, oh, hey, said person did X thing. Well, another missing detail is how long ago. Like, oh, you were a bank robber and a person died. Oh, yeah, we don't care about them. And it's like, well, no, they robbed a bank, but that was like 40 years ago. They did the time. They're a changed person, and they actually want to do right by their actions. It's like, well, are they still a bank robber? Are they still consider the criminal? Or because they went through their due process and wanted to better themselves, and now that they're a changed person, do you still consider them a bad person? It's just, the more details is the better, but then too many details and it gets fuzzy about like what details make things okay and not okay.
I'll be the first one to say that Sky is the very definition of a villain. Like, this man is ruthless.
Dude's already got a fursona.
I mean, yeah, as soon as you start there, you've only got, what, like 2 more stages to go before you're a supervillain?
What's your villain name? Are you like the Panther Pursuer or something? Panther of the Skies?
Hold on. Explain how I'm a villain, exactly.
Oh, because like every other thing we say to you, like, takes you off, and so like that is the driving force behind your like villainy. It's like, my friends thinking they can taunt me, so I'll show them. I'll show all of them. That sort of,
Oh no, it's just because I'm emotional wreck.
We mentioned voice acting one time, and now I feel the need to like go above and beyond. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Devin. I just
No, yeah. Not to mention, Sky already has like a villain costume. He's already got a whole like other personality that he could fill in. Apparently, he's got 3 that he could just fill in.
Why don't we click on his profile?
Dude, he could. He could be a whole villain personality and his own minions.
His first and second mate are just himself in different classes.
That's the way it works, right? Like,
being a villain, but now I'm thinking of flying over there to cause some destruction.
See what I mean? I'm telling you, he's like 2 stages away from super villain.
But no, I would be a piss poor villain. No joke. I can come up with plans, but I can't execute them for shit.
Just details. A piss poor villain is still a villain. Kind of like what would be considered a poor millionaire is still a millionaire. You still have the bare minimum requirements to fit the category. You just may not be looked on as favorably or be considered a high class version.
If I ever hear of a poor millionaire, I'm going to find whoever came up with that term. Like, I mean, away from you, obviously, because you're just saying it.
Okay, Sky.
And I will legitimately slap them.
Okay, Sky. If you know anything about like financial stability, you can be a poor millionaire because you could have that money in the sense of assets. So, like, if you have a bunch of, like, say, expensive camera equipment worth about $500K, but you have, no money in the bank account, just for sake of example, you still have roughly $500,000 worth of stuff. You are not technically poor, but all your money is in assets. Like, it makes way more sense for like businesses and like stuff that's supposed to generate revenue or make money. But
okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like say you bought those cameras because they were nice fancy cameras, they're limited edition or whatever, and so you're holding on to them for hopefully they go up in price and not down in price. Think of it as like you're investing a stock or whatever. So So you bought $500,000 worth of these fancy limited edition cameras, and 5 years go by, and now they are worth 600,000. You've made $100,000 profit, assuming you could sell it for $600,000. But like in terms of like if you were to file it, for like sake of like property or whatever, you would have $600,000 worth of, because that is what it would be valued at.
Okay. Yeah. What you mean now?
It would have to be average fair market price value. So, and so it's kind of like one of those like universal like things. Like the only reason money even has value is because we put a $1 bill down, and I say that has the value of $1. You say that has the value of $1, and then it doesn't anymore because inflation. But
And then it doesn't anymore. Yeah, that's kind of how that goes, isn't it?
I'm like, oh god, I didn't mention inflation.
Yeah, but like again,
It
like fine.
starts with us agreeing, and then someone else is like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah,
can't have that."
but the whole point is like the government also has to be involved and also has to say that is valued at what it is, because say like you have that now worth $600,000 worth of stuff, and you took insurance out on it. If anything happened to that, that's not purposeful or voids the insurance, then camera breaks or whatever, knocks over, then you get that money back, and it would be cash, because I don't think insurance would necessarily just straight up give you a new camera. But you kind of get how it works. You can be a poor millionaire in theory.
Yeah, no, I get it now. Because my assumption was that when you said poor millionaire, I'm like, hold on, that's a thing. Someone could be like, I'm a millionaire, but then they're like, no, you're not. You're poor. You're a poor millionaire. Get the hell out. I'm like, huh? That's a thing? Do we have to now start calling people who have like decent money skills, like in middle class, but without like a good sense of money, poor middle class? I'm confused. But then you explain it, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It's all about assets and finances.
Yeah. But like also it's kind of like funny, because in another term of being a poor millionaire, Sky, you could have like just over like $1 million on hand, but then for some reason me and Devin secretly like won the lottery or whatever, and we both got like 50 million each, and we sit there look at you. We are all millionaires, but me and Devin would turn around and laugh at you and be like, "Ha, you're a poor millionaire."
And
Alex, you weren't supposed to tell him that we won the lottery. Come on now, what are you doing? Now we have to
Quitting my
share.
I mean,
I technically, whoever's name's on the lotto ticket doesn't have to share unless we have like a legally binding contract. Because then just turn it in, get the money, and then I could be like, oh, here, let me reimburse you for your ticket, and then not give you the whole 50 mil whatever. Not to mention it gets taxed like a mother trucker. Like, they take so much money out of that.
I heard they take like 15%.
Dude, they take like 60-70% of the entire thing. Like, you think you won like $1 million, you're walking away with like 300,000. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a nice amount of money, but but that's like poor people talking like a nice amount of money, because I consider myself poor enough in the sense of like if somebody said I won $1 million and now I got 300K, I don't care, tax it, because that 300K is going to be of good use to me. But
Exactly.
but like if I won like 1K and 70% of this tax and I only got $300, it's not as helpful, but like it'd probably go towards like paying a bill. So like I would still consider myself that regardless of however much got taxed, I would still get enough to have it be a financial benefit. But like if I'm already like make 6 figures, I went and like 50K and got like maybe $5,000, $5,000 to $10,000, I make six figures. Like, what is that to me per se? It's a matter of like proportions and stuff.
All about perspectives,
Yeah.
I know I'm a stingy bastard. I'm gonna take my six figures. I'm gonna probably put up like $1 for a lottery ticket, and if I don't win, oh well. And then I'm gonna go spend it all at the casino.
No, you could go play roulette and stuff, and like you're like, oh, I know
Okay,
all the
well,
strategies, I know all the tactics. You're sitting there watching the YouTube video as you're playing.
I would agree, but there's no phones allowed.
Really?
No phones allowed, man. And you're especially not allowed to have like cameras either.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't think that they would do that sort of thing. Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
neither did I until someone yelled at Haley for having her phone out. I was like, damn, man, she's not even playing.
Wow.
You got.
I know. I mean, she did manage to get a photo, so it's whatever.
And even though slots are 100%, slots are rigged.
Rigged.
It what sucks is it can also quote unquote not be rigged, because say it's a $1 slot, right? Somebody shows up, they're like, oh, I gotta win something. I'm gonna put $100 in, right? And they lose or don't make a profit on winning with that $100. And then, you show up and you're like, you sit there, you got $5. You're like, it's okay if I lose this $5. You put it in, couple spins, and you win $2,000. The $100 person is gonna be pretty peed off, And
Yeah.
but then as easily as it was, as you put in $5 to get, $1,000 or two, you might think to yourself, oh, then I surely could make a profit. And if you have the mindset of that you're willing to lose that $2,000 that you just got from putting $5 in, then you could lose all of those $2,000 or whatever right there too. Spin away and lose it all. Like, but that feeling of like winning it's intoxicating.
Oh yeah. I think that's the best way to put any kind of gambling, really. You get that thrill of just the potential to win big, potential to lose, and you let it kind of consume you a little bit.
Yeah. But that's why like I've only gone like to the casino once, and like I have to sit there and mentally, and I guess technically a second time because I let you borrow some money, and like I just before I even was willing to send you the money, I had to sit there and tell myself, am I okay losing this money? And after I felt it was okay if I just wasn't gonna see that money again, it's gone, whatever, I sent it to you. Well, technically I think I sent it to Haley, but it's like, am I willing to lose like, I thought, what was it, like 35 or $55? Am I willing to lose this? Looked at my bank account and I was like, yeah, I'm willing to lose this. And I didn't see it again. But the first time I went gambling, I put in a little bit of money, I won, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm done. I was there for like 5 minutes.
That was definitely not my experience. I won a lot, and then I went back and lost it all. It was fantastic.
You were intoxicated with that feeling.
Dude, it was just because the first time being there, first time ever doing anything like that, and I won, I wasn't expecting to win. I was expecting to lose the little bit that I came here with, and that I was willing to lose, and ended up winning pretty good, and I put it all back in, and that was a mistake. But it's a learning experience.
100%. Sky, you have any experiences with gambling?
At an actual casino, no. On a
NFT?
online casino, yes. Because they're like online casinos now, and I've done like a few slot things. and I don't do it much because obviously that's like losing a lot of money and stuff. I usually put like $10 in. If I lose it, I lose it. But I have a policy that I use for that if I do go to a casino with, I'm going to stick to, and it is keep 75%, spend 25%. If I win a bunch of money, like a huge bunch, like let's say 100 something, I am instantly keeping 75% of that and only using 25%. If I lose that 25%, I can either add in more money away from what I won, or I can just pull up.
Now, how does that work per se? Because what I'm a little confused of is say you started off with $100. When you show up, do you say I'm keeping $75 of this $100 and only spending 25, or are you saying $100 is your gambling budget? So in the sense of, say you put in $100 and you got $200, you still have your initial 100 that you were going to use for betting, and then you add $25 from the second 100 you won, and you keep $75 from the profit of that second $100. Like how does that exactly work for you in your system?
Going off of that example, if I were to like say go to the casino for the first time and have $100, that would be what I would use towards slots or roulette or whatever have you, that sort of thing. If I do win money and it is more than what I put down, so again, just to stick to the example, 200, I would keep 75% of that 200. So it would now be 175. And I would put
75% of 200 is not 175. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
75% of 200 is 150, bud.
Thank you. You get like my idea though. It's not necessarily about keeping it with the mainline thing. It's hey, I start off with a budget. If I lose that budget, that's no problem. I can either decide to take another risk and add in more money, or if I gain money while using it, I instantly take 75% of what I won, which was added to what I was spending, and use that remaining 25% to see if I can get even more lucky. If I don't, I pull out. If I do, then I make a decision to either stay or pull out and just keep what I earn.
That makes sense on like almost everything except slots, because slots are like 1 or 2 credits at a time. So you would have to like sit there and like do the math and like keep track of like the in and out to have that final calculation for your 75%. But overall, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. With the slots, it's like the most difficult. At
Well,
least,
because usually you're awarded those credits right away, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can't just like win 5 credits, keep 4 credits, spend 1 credit. It's just added to your pool of credits.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
I think I already told you. I think I already told you guys like kind of like how I would run it from now on. I obviously didn't do that this time, but when it comes to gambling at a casino, for example, I would take like say $100. That's your bankroll. You take $100 bankroll, you bring it in, you go and you win like $500. I personally would take $100 from that. That's the spending money that I would use from gambling. If you win more money, you keep adding that to your bank account. If you lose that $100, well, you just stop. And that's what I was doing the first day.
You were.
The first day. I think that was a good way to do it. I mean, honestly,
it's a good way if you stick to it, Devin.
I know. It's definitely one of those things where you gotta actually stick to it. But if you do,
if I may just interject, The slots thing for actual casinos, I think, will be the hardest. For the online casino, I can actively see, like, because I'm going to use slots because that's what I did. And when I did it, they have like a little thing of like, oh, it's this much per play, and you can adjust it. So if I were to do the whole $10 down thing, I could actively see, okay, spinning this roulette will cost me $1 or $2. So I'll be able to keep track of it in the end. But for actual in-person casinos, I'm like now starting to think I need to rethink that strategy for slots.
Well, technically, it's the same thing. You can't adjust like how much you bet, because technically, the more you bet per roll of slots, has you greater risk reward. So like if I bet $1 and then I won $2, that was a spin on the slots that doubled my money. However, if I would have risked more, so if I bet $10 and then I could have won $20, I still have that same output of, doubling my money, but I just got $9 more instead of just 1 versus 10.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah, no, this is. I could go on and on about gambling and cards because I love the casino environment, all the cards and stuff. But honestly, I think it's probably a good place to wrap it up. Final thoughts about hurricanes, villains, and gambling, or even off topic. Final thoughts, Devin.
I think we're ending it on a pretty good note. I think we covered a lot of different topics, and I like the variety we had today. It was pretty entertaining for me.
Sky.
This was a really fun day. This was a really fun session. Laughter and some really good topics. So I think we had a really good time.
And yeah, I think it was really good. And congratulations to us. I think we went an entire recording without an F-bomb asterisk because we had 2 previous attempts. But, they were early enough that we just decided to start over. But, no F-bombs this recording. How about that?
I know. It's hard to believe that that's something that we have to feel grateful about.
I mean, I'll save it for a different time.
Save it for a different time. All right, sounds good. And on that note, podcast out.